In 1931, the world was tightening its belt. Bank failures were mounting, unemployment was surging, and people waiting in bread lines desperately needed a reason to laugh. The film industry recognized the demand and turned to four swirling dervishes of comedy: Groucho, Harpo, Chico, and Zeppo Marx. By this point, the brothers had already conquered Broadway stages and filmed their first two movies at Paramount's East Coast studios in Astoria, New York. Their process up to this point was rigorous. They spent months on the road, testing every single gag in front of live theatrical audiences, measuring the laughs, and constantly adjusting their delivery. Their timing, the very engine of their comedy, relied entirely on the immediate vocal feedback of a crowd sitting in the dark. That dynamic shifted when the brothers packed their trunks and moved west to Paramount Studios in Hollywood to shoot Monkey Business. This marked a terrifying milestone. It was their very first project conceived and written strictly as a motion picture, stripping away their ability to road test the material. This diagram illustrates the new problem: the silent camera vacuum. On stage, an actor projects to the crowd, and laughter completes the circuit. On a soundstage, the actor projects into a silent lens. Without a crowd, comic timing relied entirely on the written page. Hollywood was a crucible. It would test whether the Marx Brothers could adapt their live instincts into a permanent cinematic art form, or if they were merely a theatrical act, unable to survive the sterile environment of a film set. To give the brothers room to operate, the plot of Monkey Business was kept beautifully simple. They play four stowaways hiding inside cargo barrels. The action takes place almost entirely within the confined, upper-class setting of a luxury ocean liner making its way across the sea. Before the ship even docks, they manage to inadvertently terrorize the captain, harass the crew, and sprint through the passenger decks. Along the way, they inevitably stumble into a feud between two rival gangsters and turn the voyage upside down. The simplistic narrative was deliberate. The ship was a rigid environment, designed specifically so the brothers could tear it apart with their unpredictable anti-authority routines. Building that framework fell to two men: legendary humorist S.J. Perelman and theatrical writer Will B. Johnstone. Perelman later recalled the experience with a mixture of awe and sheer exhaustion. The brothers were demanding, erratic, and constantly tossed out carefully written jokes to invent new ones right on the floor. The writing process quickly became a battlefield. Pages were torn up, dialogue was rewritten on the fly, and the script became a mutating document. To compound the studio's headache, the brothers brought their anarchy off-camera. Harpo and Chico were notorious for vanishing between takes, slipping away to play cards or pull pranks on neighboring soundstages. This resistance to Hollywood's rigid production schedule was exasperating, but it was also the essential fuel. It allowed their raw, pre-code energy to survive the studio system. When the cameras finally stopped rolling, the off-screen madness had successfully translated into the final print, capturing the unfiltered freedom of early 30s cinema. You can see this timing perfected in the legendary passport sequence, where all four brothers try to escape the boat by poorly imitating the French singer Maurice Chevalier. The chaos was anchored by a phenomenal supporting cast, particularly the luminous Thelma Todd, who proved she could hold her own against Groucho's relentless flirting. It also highlights Zeppo Marx, delivering critical work as the straight-faced romantic lead who handles the heavy lifting during the action sequences. These performances provided the necessary gravity. They gave the audience a grounded reality to hold on to, allowing the brothers' surreal jokes to land perfectly without derailing the movie. Monkey Business premiered in September 1931 and became an immediate, massive box office triumph. This chart illustrates the cultural timing. As economic depression deepened, the red line, demand for escapism soared in gold. Their anti-authority humor was a perfect release valve. The gamble paid off. They entered a silent Hollywood soundstage and generated world-class laughs without a live audience. By successfully transferring their chaotic stage energy to a written screenplay, the Marx Brothers secured their place as permanent global cinematic artists. They delivered the exact distraction a fractured world was asking for. This was brought to you by Stalls or Circle. Thank you for listening.